Hello and welcome back to the Limit of Adhesion's USF2000 League. My name's Mark and joining me in the commentary booth is Steve. Steve, how you doing?
I'm great, thanks Mark. It's fantastic to have you back, and it's fantastic to be here at Hockenheim as well. It's a fantastic circuit. Really looking forward to the racing round the circuit here now.
Yes, and it certainly is good to be back. I know a lot of our viewers will be thinking, oh no, why have we got this guy? I want that American guy who actually knows what he's talking about. But, you know, like an antibiotic-resistant infection, you've got me for good.
It's great to have you back. Yeah, it's fantastic.
So, let's talk about the last time out at Phoenix. It was our first oval race of the season. And yeah, although I wasn't able to be with you, we had the very knowledgeable Jason with us.
We did, yeah. It was great to pick his brains and find out a lot more about oval racing. Certainly I didn't know a lot of what he was talking about, and it was nice to actually be informed and educated by Jason on the different vagaries of the oval tracks.
Indeed, and we are hoping to get Jason back in the commentary booth later in the season. But for now, let's turn our attention to Hockenheim. So as you can see, Malarin just running away with the championship yet again.
Yeah, there's not a lot of people that can catch him at the moment. He's pulling away nice with over 300 points.
Yes, we've got a few new people joining us this time. And when I say new people, I mean new to the USF League, certainly not new to the Limit of Adhesion. All these guys down here at the bottom of the championship standings making their debut in the USF this season. All of them are LOA regulars, but it's good to have them on the grid regardless.
Yeah, it is, Mark. And what's happened is that the LOA have just changed slightly the setup for the weekends. And now it makes the racing more available for a lot more drivers, because obviously when the USF and the Porsche Cup, I think when they were both on the same time, it split the drivers, whereas both series are now on consecutive hours. So one at 8 o'clock, one at 9 o'clock starting. It means that all drivers in the LOA are able to compete in both championships, which is it was fantastic, great idea.
It is a fabulous idea, and as you can see, we've got a nice healthy looking grid today. So yeah, always love to see a lot of USF cars on track all at once.
Yeah, it makes for some fun, really close and interesting racing.
So as we see the championship standings up there, we've got the Wizards at the top, closely followed by the Anti-Wizard Society. Nice rivalry going there as we see qualifying results. Steve, why don't you take us through quali?
Yeah, no problem. We got first on pole position Michael Messenger, followed by Gavin Kelly, Russell Bright, Merrin Hugavin, Don Parker, Stephen Greening, Chris White, Tom Olarin, Pavel Kuzmanek, Kenneth Olive, Ben Childcraft, Stephen Maxwell, Eric Pusey, Johan Mananen, Philip Miles, Chris Forrester, James Pepper in 17th, Steve Pepper in 18th, Roberto Costa 19th, Rich Meisters in 20th, and Steve McCann in 21st with no time.
And look at that, 21 drives on the grid. That is just absolutely amazing.
So round four incident,
James
Pepper gets a penalty for causing a collision. Slade Beads with a major incident, and also we had Tom Olarin. Pending penalties, we've got Alex Murphy, all the drivers, Alex Murphy, Stephen McCann, Tom Olarin, James Pepper, Graham Barsley, Chris White, and a couple of others on pit lane starts.
So it's a good job we've got so many drivers on the grid, because most of them are starting from the pits.
Yeah, it will make for a fairly, let's say, quiet start to the race, but it's never quiet with the USF, is it?
No, as we see there, confirmation of Michael Messenger on pole position he had a nice 4/10 advantage. That's brilliant showing by him.
Yeah, stonking that.
Am I correct in saying, Steve, that Michael Messenger has done one previous round of the USF? That was last season at...
I think you're right.
I want to say Summit Point, perhaps?
Yeah, I think you're right with that.
Yeah, I seem to remember him running right at the front of the field that time as well. So Yeah, he's definitely a quick driver in these little open wheelers.
Yeah, definitely.
And for once, Joe Malarin is not up at the front, so that is a big surprise. Because normally, it's been Malarin and Murphy, hasn't it?
Yeah, I have a funny feeling that it's not going to be quite as cut and dried from now on with the extended grid.
Certainly not. Unfortunately, Alex Murphy not on the grid tonight, and Malarin is way down the field. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be someone else that's going to get the win this time round.
Yeah, the safety car's off.
So yeah, safety car's in the pits. Thank you, Steve. And we are racing at Hockenheim. Mike Messenger keeps the lead. We've got Hugevin right behind, and Russell Bright into third. Looked like he was trying to challenge Hugevin. And then we've got Don Parker. Oh, there's chaos already. That was Hugevin going for a spin. Bright's gone for a spin as well. That's put Greeny up to second. As you see, Russell Bright just tumbling right the way down the order. That is very unfortunate, very painful. As we see Stephen Maxwell going alongside Ben Chalcroft. A lot of new cars on the grid, Steve. I'm struggling to tell which one's which. I've not memorised all the different paint schemes yet. No. So you see, that's one that I do know. Pavel Kuzmarek up to fifth.
Yeah, I'm struggling to help you as well.
Oh, it's all part of the fun. As we see now, the cars not going right the way down to the full hairpin. They're taking the slightly shorter layout. As we see there, a replay of Marion Hugevin going spinning. Looked like the car was just on ice there.
Nice 360 there, well held.
It was, and that's put him down to 12th place. So unfortunate for him, because that was a very good qualifying. But Hugevin's a very quick driver. As we see more carnage in the back. Exactly, Steve. Something happened to Milan. I don't know whether he got caught up in all that. As we see in the replay, there is Ewan Mannanen and Chris Forrester getting together as before we even got to the first corner. I think Mannanen just going very slowly, backing off, and Chris Forrester unfortunately going into the back of him, getting a bit caught out by how much Mannanen was slowing down for the first corner. As we see more carnage, there was another locked wheel, and we've got a car off in the background. That is Mannanen. Looked like Mannanen might have been trying to head for the pits.
Yeah, I think there was no call there, and I think it might have been Chris White that hit him on the way into the pits.
It was Chris Forrester, so yeah, that's Mannanen trying to get to the pits, but unfortunately cutting straight across the nose of Chris Forrester. So that is very unfortunate. And all that drama has put Greening up to second, Parker up to third. Here we've got Kuzmarek, Maxwell and Olive and Chalcroft and Piercy all going side by side. This is amazing, and that's put Steve Pepper up to 9th.
Yeah, that's a good start for Steve there. Oh, we've got they've gone round. Oh, that's Russell Bright.
Oh, and that's Pepper involved there.
Yeah, I think Rich Meesters just went into the back of Russell Bright and gave James Pepper nowhere to go there.
That was very unfortunate, as we heard a bit of radio from Michael Messenger, although I didn't hear quite what he was saying. I think that was Don Parker talking about bump drafting there, so we might see something very entertaining.
I'm glad you got bump drafting out of that, because I got something completely different.
Oh my word, I don't even want to know, Steve.
It's a Yorkshire thing. Cups of tea.
I don't know what they put in the gravy up there.
Cups of tea.
Right, so as we start lap 3, we've got Messenger from Greening, from Parker, from Kuzmarek, Maxwell up to 5th. So we see Kuzmarek, Maxwell, Olive and Chalcroft all practically nose to tail, with Piercy not too far behind. There is that quintet that I was just talking about, or quartet, I've lost count. As we see, as they go to the slightly shorter layout, they don't go down to the full hairpin, they have this slightly shorter layout with the hairpin just there, as they go down to the Mercedes curve.
That's Steve McCann on the replay. Taking it very wide.
That is McCann, indeed. And that is White and Pepper, sorry, White and Costa going wheel to wheel. And so here we have Kenneth Olive stuck in a sandwich between Chalcroft and Piercy. Piercy just hanging back, trying to gauge which way to go, whether to go left or right. So we see Greening starting to come under a bit of pressure from Parker. These top three have sort of made a bit of a break back to Kuznec in fourth. As we see Greening then just setting the fastest lap of the race. Yeah.
Great minds think alike, that.
As we see this duo come up towards the Nord curve. As we see there, another replay of Stephen McCann just getting it a little bit wrong at that alternative hairpin. As we see there, PRC now right onto the back of Olive. Can he peek out and go for a little lunge down into, what's this corner? I think we'll go back to Spoon Curve.
Sure, what's German for spoon? We have to use that.
Der Löffel.
Oh, very good. It's not Spoon then.
No, it's not Dash Spoon.
Dash Spoon.
As we see Kenneth Olive and Piercy once again. Piercy all over the back of Olive as they come up to Der Löffel. And that is Steve Pepper just getting passed by A. Malarin, Kelly Wizards duo.
Yeah, I think they ganged up on him there and mugged him.
They did indeed. So that puts Malarin up to 10th, Kelly down to Kelly up to 11th. As Kelly then makes a mistake and lets Steve Pepper get straight back past. As we see now, Costa and White still glued together. They've been fighting for a good few laps now. There is Stephen Maxwell on the back of Kuznec.
My apologies, but there's just some cracking racing that's so close with these little groups dotted all over the track. You know, it's brilliant to see.
Yes, we see Greening now closing right up to the back of Messenger as they head down towards Spoon Curve.
It looks like Gavin Kelly's got a run on Pepper here as well.
Indeed, will Kelly be able to make it past Pepper again? Pepper doesn't look like he's going to defend that too heavily. And yep, there we go. That is Kelly down the inside. Pepper obviously knows when to fight his battles. Sorry, when to pick his battles.
Yeah, I think Gavin Kelly's at least probably a second quicker than Pepper there, so it's better to stay safe and finish than do as he's probably done and thrown it at the wall.
Oh, another big crash up there for Steve McCann. I reckon that will be a tow back to the pit lane. And we'll see if he's got a quick repair or whether he's already used that. If not, that could be the end of his race, unfortunately. We'll see if he comes back out. And there is confirmation of just a little half spin by Steve. Will he keep it out of the wall? Yes, he just about keeps it out of the wall. As we see on the big screen, Greening right on the back of Messenger made a slight mistake and has now dropped a couple of car lengths back. As we see Maxwell now finally up the inside of Kuznec. Can he get the pass done? They are side by side as they head down to Spoon Curve. I don't know if Maxwell's going to have enough of an overlap. He's got about half a car length alongside. Now he pulls a full car length alongside. Will he be late on the brakes? Yes, he does get that move done. Excellent racecraft there by Maxwell.
Yeah, fantastic. Lined him up down the straight and just took him on the hairpin there.
Yeah, Maxwell, of course, currently absolutely dominating the LMP2 championship. So, good to see him in the USF cars. And showing that he's just as quick in these as well.
Yeah, there is some very quick drivers around.
There are a lot of very quick drivers around.
Well, a lot faster than me anyway.
A lot faster than me as well. But one good thing about the limit of adhesion, there are that many drivers of such varying skills and abilities that there will always be someone to fight with.
Totally agree. Yeah, it's fantastic just to get involved and there's always something, like you say, that's going to be around your level, lap times and things, and you can have some really good battles.
Indeed. Now, as we see that Messenger and Greening have just started to break away from Parker now. They're a couple of seconds clear. Parker in a bit of a league of his own at the moment because he's got a bit of a gap to Greening up ahead and a bit of a gap back to Maxwell behind. But now that Maxwell's got past Kuznec, as we see Chalcroft having a look on Kuzmarek as well. We'll see if Maxwell can maybe claw onto the back of Parker, as we see Kuzmarek sticks to the inside, keeps that inside line defended well, and Chalcroft will have to wait for another corner to make a move.
Yeah, that was nicely held there by Pavel there, because if he'd have gone just slightly wide, Chalcroft was in on the inside, he would have got the switch back and off down the straight to the next corner in front probably.
Indeed, and then we see more Wizards ganging up on other cars as we see first Hugavin and then Malarin getting past Olive. Honestly, if only someone had set up some sort of anti-Wizard society that could take the challenge to these guys.
I think we've got one, he just needs to turn up occasionally.
He does,
I'm sure Alex will be back in the next race.
Yes, well I believe real life racing commitments do unfortunately take priority over this virtual racing, as we see Kuzmarek going very wide and Chalcroft following him very wide as Kuzmarek defends heavily from Chalcroft. And here we see Malarin up the inside of Hugavin. These two of course battled for the F3 title a couple of seasons ago in the LOA Prime, so they are certainly no strangers to fighting one another. They've been teammates in various endurance races, they know each other well.
A little bit of a look up there.
Yes, and it looks like Malarin has got the upper hand at the moment. Malarin obviously leading the championship and usually in a class of his own, so nice to see him actually have to do some overtakes for once.
Sorry Ben, that was my mistake.
As we see, I think there's been a little bit of contact between Chalcroft and Kuzmarek, as Kuzmarek there just apologises.
Looks like
so here we go.
On a bit of a charge through as a recovery drive there.
I was going to say, Bright obviously qualified very well, so we know he's got pace. He was, up in third or something at the first corner, before unfortunately being involved in that first corner incident. As we see now, Malarin on the back of Piussi, and Hugavin not too far behind as they all go way off the track. They'll be picking up off tracks. Did Piussi get a good enough exit? It looks like Malarin might go to the inside, and in fact he does go to the inside as Kelly also goes to the inside on Olive. So that is two Wizards gaining places. That's three Wizards gaining places in just, two corners or so?
Yeah, it was... I get confused with all the Wizards liveries, to be honest. There's that many of them.
Yeah, I was going to say, bearing in mind, sort of when in doubt, we call a spooner. We call a corner spoon corner. I think it's just appropriate that every time we're not quite sure which team a driver races for, we just assign them into the Wizards team. Because let's be honest, they've got 70-80% of the grid. Yeah, it's a good 70-80% of the grid. As we see there, Kuzmarek still defending hard from Chalcroft. Kuzmarek doing a sort of James Pepper-esque defending, like James Pepper did at Donington a few rounds ago. Excellent defence there by Kuzmarek, not putting a foot wrong. As there goes Russell Bright up the inside of Philip Miles. Will he get the move done? He's going to try and go around the outside of the Mercedes corner. Sorry, that's the Sachs corner, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what? It's Spoon Corner! It's Spoon Corner, Steve! They're all Spoon! Don't you wish you had Jason back? Who actually knew what he was talking about?
Yeah, but we only had two corners to comment on. I think he called it a slotted spoon. That was it, the slotted spoon. We kept up the tradition.
Yeah. As we see Malarin then on a massive charge, first got past Chalcroft, a couple of corners later getting past Kuzmarek, making this look easy. As we see up at the front, Greening is right onto the back of Messenger. This is probably as close as he's ever been, just 2 tenths behind. Messenger and Green, of course, both race for the Risky Racing team. So, again, they know each other quite well. As we see Pepper there bouncing all over the curbs. As we see the fight for the lead, hotting up. Messenger there, just going very wide, putting a couple of wheels in the gravel. Greeny goes to the inside, into Spoon Corner. Messenger holds it around the outside. But Greening's still there as they head towards Spoon Corner. Will Greening have enough of an overspeed? Will he be alongside? Will he be late enough on the brakes? Looks like Messenger's just late enough to be able to keep the corner. Greening still tried to go up the inside, but yeah, Messenger's just done enough to keep ahead.
It's all down to the slipstream, down to this hairpin now.
Indeed, Messenger tucks to the inside, gets the move. Sorry, that's Greening. Greening tucks to the inside. They touch wheels. They're still both on the road. No damage. No harm done. And yeah, it looks like Greening has got that move consolidated as we see Russell Bright on the back of Steve Pepper. Steve Pepper defending well there. And they're still at it! Greening and Messenger still fighting for position, still nose to tail. As they go through Spoon Curve. Go past the pit lane and on to start lap 12. It's still Greening from Messenger. Our new race leader, Greening. And here we go. Chalcroft still on the back of Kuzmarek as we see Russell Bright getting past Pepper. And now Bright's got about 7 seconds gap to Costa, so with 4 laps to go, I don't know if he's going to be able to make too much more progress. So he'll look to just consolidate that 14th place. So as we see Philip Miles, Steve Pepper and Russell Bright now all fairly close together. That's James Pepper looking at making a move. Sorry, that's Steve Pepper looking at making a move on Russell Bright.
Yeah, he's keeping Russell very honest at the moment.
He is indeed, and something's happened to Pepper as we see him in the pits. Because we know that they get a fast repair, so I think Pepper's had to tow. Because otherwise it'd just be a quick in and out. As we see Hugvin now all over the back of Chalcroft. Chalcroft's dropped back a bit from Kuzmarek. They were nose to tail from the majority of this race. And are we going to see what happened to Pepper? No, Pepper just brought it into the pits and it's... Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, he had been, as far as from what I've been told, he had been suffering with suspension damage before that. So it might have been the case of he'd lost his steering slightly.
Yeah, as we see Marin Hugvin come into the pits. I was going to say, Steve, there's no pit stop. Well, there's no mandatory pit stops. There's no fuel stops. You don't need to change tyres. So generally, anytime someone does come into the pits, it's either for a penalty or for damage.
Yeah, that's
right. As we see Messenger all over the back of Greening like a rash, but cannot find a way back past and back into the lead. As we see what's happened to Kenneth Olive, that'll be the spinner. And will he keep it out of the wall? Yes, he does. So that is fortunate. Well, unfortunate for the spin, but fortunate that he kept it out of the wall.
Yeah, you just lose so much time as well because you're waiting for the cars to pass you, and you've got to be so careful rejoining the track and what have you.
Yeah, and then when you do rejoin the track, it's so easy to have overheated your tyres by having that little spin. So it's so easy to then get to the next corner and then spin it again.
Yeah, so it doesn't take much for those smaller tyres to overheat, and it does take a little length of time before you can actually put pressure and speed back into them as well.
Indeed.
And 2 laps to go.
Indeed, and these two, have continued to drop Don Parker, now about 5 seconds gap. And Parker, hasn't really been caught by Maxwell. So yeah, Parker having a very sort of quiet race, just sort of got up to 3rd and then, fairly quiet, just stayed there.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how much Messenger wants this win. I've been only 3/10 behind Greening now. Is he going to take the risk and go for a punt, or is he going to settle for second place?
And tell you what, this is going to be an interesting battle, because Hugevin, going through the pits, has promoted Piercy up to 8th, which means this is the fight for the reverse grid pole position. So will it be Piercy on pole? Will it be Kelly on pole? Just 4/10 between them, as we see now. Here is Eric Piercy. Of course, Piercy's only a second or so back from Chalcroft. With 2 to go, it's going to be challenging to try and get another position, as we see Steve Pepper going for a little spin, just let up the rears out of Spoon Curve. But yeah, Piercy's going to want to defend heavily from Kelly to protect that reverse grid pole position. But Kelly had a brilliant exit out of Spoon Corner. Not quite close enough to attempt to move into Nord Curve. But he does have the inside line now down into Spoon Curve, and it looks like he's got that position. Piercy not fighting it too hard. He wants to get a better exit out of Spoon Curve and try and slipstream, get that position down into the hairpin, as we see him pull out to what will be the inside corner. Sorry, the inside line. Will he be late on the brakes, or will Kelly have that position? Kelly goes a little bit wide, gives Piercy the inside line, and Piercy's going to say thank you very much. You don't have to ask me twice. But that, of course, gives Kelly the inside line for Mercedes. And Kelly looks like he will keep that position. So that'll be Kelly on reverse grid pole.
Yeah, Eric's not got much of a lap to go before he finishes, and he's not unable to take that position.
Talking of finishing, there goes Steve Greening across the line to win on debut in the USF League. So well done to him. Messenger second, Don Parker third. And yeah, Piercy is not too far behind Kelly, so he might try and counter-attack. Although here they are, he's run out of time. So there we go, Kelly then will be on reverse grid pole.
Yeah, fantastic race. Well done to everybody. It's very entertaining, very close, and some good lap times there as well, 124s. So as we look at the result for the first race, we have Stephen Greening with the win, Michael Messenger and Don Parker bringing up the third place and completing the podium, followed by Stephen Maxwell, Tom Malarin, Pavel Kuzmarek, Ben Chalcroft, Gavin Kelly, as you say, on reverse grid pole, Eric Pusey, Chris White, Kenneth Olive, Roberto Costa, Russell Bright, Philip Miles, Steve Pepper, Chris Forrester, Juha Manninen, Merrin Hugevin in 18th, and bringing up the rears of them from it, Rich Meesters, James Pepper in 20th, Steve McCann 21st.
Yeah, Steve McCann, obviously we saw him have that issue and go into and have to tow back to the pits, and I think there was too much damage for him to continue, so that's a shame. Same with James Pepper. I don't think he rejoined, or at least I didn't see him rejoin after his pit lane incident, so that's a shame.
So
here we go. Grid for round two.
Gavin Kelly on pole, and Ben Chalcroft, Pavel Kuzmarek, Tom Malarin, Stephen Maxwell, Don Parker, Michael Messenger, and Stephen Greening. Obviously, that's the reverse grid, and the rest of the grid will be formed as it was when they finished the race. So Eric Pusey, Chris White, Kenneth Olive, Roberto Costa, Russell Bright, Philip Miles, Steve Pepper, Chris Forrester, Juha Manninen, Merrin Hugevin in 18th, 19th will be Rich Meesters, 20th will be James Pepper, and hopefully he's on the grid is Steve McCann there in 21st.
Brilliant, thanks Steve. So yeah, looking forward to another 20 minutes of action-packed racing with these little USF2000 cars. It'll be interesting to see how Merrin Hugevin can do down there in 18th. Will he be able to charge through the field? And yeah, where's Chur Malarin starting? He's starting 4th, I think, so we'll see if he will be able to win.
Yeah, this is a bit of an unknown territory for Chobe in this high up in the reverse grid. He's normally 8th.
Yes, indeed, and he usually still wins.
Yeah.
But I mean, having said that, Gavin Kelly's a quick guy, starting on pole position. And yeah, Ben Chalcroft alongside is also pretty rapid. So yes, we see the safety car comes into the pits. And we wait for the green flag to drop. And we are racing once again at Hockenheim. Gavin Kelly with a brilliant start to keep the lead from Chalcroft. Kuzmarek remains 3rd, Malarin stays 4th. We've got a bit of movement down as we see. I think that's Piussi going very wide, and there's carnage already. That's Pepper off, that's Olive off. I think Hugavin was slow as well. I don't know if he was involved. We see Chalcroft already got past Kelly and up into the lead. As we see a replay of what's happened, that was Pepper going to the inside in turn 1, and Olive was there as well. And yeah, 3 into 1 don't go, so that's unfortunate. And yeah, I think Hugavin did get a tap as well. That will go to the stewards. We'll see what they say. As we see there, they are all nose to tail. The top 3 from race 1, all almost getting 3 wide. As we see Parker, Messenger and Greening there. So Chalcroft's broken away slightly from Kelly, made about 6/10 of a second, who also has about 6/10 of a second from Kuzmarek. As we see Maxwell off the road, that nearly collecting Parker, and Parker's off! Is Parker going to go into the wall? Messenger's off as well! That was Seb Vettel vibes.
Yeah, once you get your wheels on the kittility, you're going straight ahead, aren't you? There's no stopping.
It is. Yeah, that's such an awful feeling of knowing that you're going to hit the wall and it's just a case of when. So let's see if he's kept it out of the... Parker's looks like he's towed. So that's very unfortunate for him. As we see there, Maxwell. What a lucky escape for Maxwell. Because we saw him go straight across the grass, nearly collect Parker. Let's see what's happened. That's Marin Hugavin getting all sorts of sideways. And will he keep it on? No, he doesn't keep it on the grass. But he keeps it on the wall at least. As we see, that's Paul Kuzmarek getting out of shape. And he does make contact with the wall.
Yeah, that's a dodgy place as well to put your car, really. You see, I think you might have to tow from there if you're unsure how many cars are coming past you.
Yeah, indeed. He's still there, but it looks like he's now found a space and will be able to rejoin safely. So that's put Stephen Maxwell up to 4th. Malarin is now all over the back of Kelly for 2nd. Chalcroft's made a bit of a break. He's now got a 2.5 gap out in front. As we see Malarin now almost bump drafting Kelly through Spoon Curve. As we see Chalcroft now cross the line to start lap 3. Malarin with a purple lap time, quickest lap so far with a 1:24.9.
Chalcroft's made a break for it now.
He has indeed.
2.5 in front of Kelly.
So now what we're going to see here, so that's a replay of Hugavin. Oh, that's into the wall there. Not having a good round is Hugavin. I mean, he's Formula 3 champion and pretty rapid guy all round, so yeah, it was very unfortunate. As we see, there is Malarin going to the inside into Spoon Curve. And so Malarin's now up to 2nd as we see Parker going for a spin. Oh, not quite a spin, a little half spin.
That was good.
And very nearly collected Kenneth Olive. As we see, the two wizards still fighting. Kelly's not gonna give up that easily. And Malarin now will want to try and chase down Chalcroft, who will want that win. And correct me if I'm wrong, Steve, but I don't think Malarin won at Phoenix, did he?
No, I don't think he did.
So yeah, he's now gone a few races without a win, which is very unusual for Malarin.
It is, but having said that, last season in the USF he did exactly the same. He took off like a rocket in the first half of the season, and towards the end of the season people had got used to the car and they were starting to pull back, and he although he was champion, it was getting close towards the end.
It certainly was, as we see Rich Meesters going a little bit wide into Spoon Hairpin in the replay there.
I think the livery for Rich is quite an interesting one. I think it's a Guinness car, and I would hope that there's no Guinness in the car when he's driving. If it was a spin like that, I'd be breath-busting him.
I was going to say, maybe that's why he went a little bit wide. As we've seen now,
Philip Miles.
Indeed, Steve Pepper then looking to the inside, and we didn't see what happened with that. As we see now, Kelly's just dropping back fractionally from Malarin. Gap's now up to half a second, as we see Michael Messenger getting it all wrong through Spoon Curve. Going for a little half spin. Rejoins safely there, no damage. That will have lost him a bit of time, and oh, that's Ewan Manning. Did he hit the wall there, Steve?
I don't know. I don't think he did. He came back on, did you, Manning, in there? He managed to control it on the kitten, so I'm sure he brought it back.
As we see, there's Greening all over the back of Maxwell. Greening then setting a fastest lap of the race so far. Greening looks like he's going to go to the inside. We try the overtake. Under braking into the Spoon Curve. He gets that positioning, makes that look easy. Maxwell, though, getting a very good exit. He'll tuck into the slipstream, but I think he might be a little too far back to attempt the move down into the Spoon Hairpin.
Yeah, you'd have to have be a brave move to try and dive bomb at that point there.
As we see now, Hugvin all over the back of Pavel Kuzmarek. Kuzmarek defended well in the first round, but Hugvin looks like he was getting a better exit. As we see Chalcroft going round. Oh no, what happened? That was our race leader! Suddenly in the grass and facing the wrong way. What happened? Hope we get a replay, but
yeah, here we go. Yeah. Is this the one?
Is that an unforced error? It is, just looped it under braking. Oh, he will be kicking himself. That is so unfortunate. I really feel for him, because he was having such a good race up till then. As we see Hugvin still trying to get past Kuzmarek. So, here is our new race leader. Yes, as we see Messenger trying to go past Costa. Side by side as they cross the finish line, and Messenger bails out of it. Doesn't think that he's going to make it into turn one, so he'll duck back out and try and get him under braking down into the Spoon Curve. And yeah, safely ahead before they reach Dead Löffel. That puts Messenger up to 10th. As we see Malarin, well, yeah, it was always a matter of time before Malarin got back to the front, wasn't it, Steve?
Yeah, it was, but I mean, it's great to see so many quick drivers that have come across the USF to actually put up a fight. And as we said, these races can be topsy-turvy. You got Michael Messenger, you know, that was battling for the lead, and all of a sudden he's down in 10th position.
Oh yeah, exactly. Look at Parker, look at Hoovervin, both showing really good pace in the first round, both having instants in the second.
Yeah, he can turn it completely. When he said, "Oh, Steve
that's Steve Pepper going through." And yeah, he tried rally crossing. So there
you go. Kelly race until that point.
He was indeed. Yeah, that's a shame. As we see Kelly almost out of slipstream from Teo Malarin out in front. He'll have just about got back into it through that corner. But yeah, it looks like Malarin's starting to break away out front. Kelly Kelly doesn't really look like he's got the pace to challenge for the lead. So yeah, we'll see if he can defend well from Greening, who's stormed up through the field.
Yeah, I mean, we have seen Tom Malari make a slight mistake previously with when he's been out front and what have you. So
we have
Gavin
indeed,
Kelly
yeah.
can only really sort of like hope for that. You know, if he makes a mistake, he's there just in striking distance.
Indeed, as we see Piercy up to 6th. Good showing for him. Up a few places from where he started. And yeah, he's about a second back from Chris White. Where's Chris White come from? I don't think I've mentioned Chris at all this race.
No,
he's just been sort of keeping out of mischief.
Yeah, he's had a quiet race
yeah.
as Chris, and he's just snuck up on there into, 5th place? Great drive.
Just pumping in some solid lap times. Keeping out of trouble.
Sometimes these races, that's what it's all about. It's just keeping yours clean and just pumping in the lap times, keeping it nice and steady, and the positions come to you.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, yeah, as we've seen, there's been quite a bit of drama. There's often people sort of making mistakes, going wide. These cars are so easy to lock the brakes and have sort of little spins and things like that. So yeah, it's quite easy to make positions up if you just keep it calm and collected and keep it on the black stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
As we see, here's the other McLaren racing car, Chris Forrester, on the back of Roberto Costa. There we go, Roberto Costa going a little bit wide. Chris Forrester does try and look up the inside, but just wasn't able to carry enough speed to get that position done. As we see a little bit of a lock-up from Steve Greening, who's made his way past Gavin Kelly. Didn't see where that happened. So yeah, hopefully we'll get a replay of that move. Or maybe I'm just blind and it was shown and I just missed it.
No, I don't think so. So, here we go.
It won't be the first time. Oh, here's a replay. There we go. So yeah, what happened there? Oh, Kelly just made a little bit of a mistake going very wide through Spoon Curve. And Greening didn't need a second invitation.
It's so easy to do that as well. Once you start drifting wide, you've got to lift off and make sure you don't go into the gravel and whatever. Otherwise, it sends you straight into the grass and you've no chance. Yeah,
as we saw with Ewan Manningen at that very corner a few laps ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get slightly wide, touch the gravel, and then you go very wide. So Greening has now got the gap down to about 7-8 tenths of a second, down to Malaren ahead. So will we see a fight for the lead after all?
I think we will. I think he's getting to the stage where he's in draft. So with these long straights, I think he's got a chance of pulling up to the gearbox of Malaren there.
Indeed, and can Greening do the double? As we see there, Chris White in a very solid 5th. He's actually closed right up to the back of Stephen Maxwell, actually.
Yeah, he's once again he's using the slipstream very well, and he's only 4 tenths away from the gearbox of Maxwell now, so he's got a chance to take that 4th place away from him.
Yeah, and there we just saw Greening 7 tenths of a second, I think, quicker than Malaren in that last lap. Got the gap now down to 2 tenths of a second.
Eric just out of that last turn there.
That's a shame. As we see, there is Greening going to the inside. Will he be late enough on the brakes? Malaren gives him just enough room, but that is all the room that Greening needs, because Greening is still there. Malaren now with the inside line as they go through Spoon Curve. Malaren's just done enough to keep ahead as Greening tucks back in behind Malaren. But Greening now solidly in the slipstream. He's going to have such a tow. No way past here, but looks to capitalise on Malaren's mistakes. He tries to go around the outside of Spoon hairpin. Can he make that stick? Not quite, but that was a brilliant effort. And these two
fighting. He'll just have his wing mirrors full now of greening.
He will indeed. And on board with Kelly, who will be absolutely loving this fight, because the more these two fight, the more Kelly can keep in touch and have a chance at a win if something happens to those two guys in front, if they slow each other down enough. Yeah. As we see Greening still going left, going right, a little lock up there. And Greening with such a good exit, he'll tuck back into the slipstream. Malarin sticks to the inside line. He's going to force Greening to go around the outside. Greening now slightly ahead as they break, but Malarin with that inside line has done just enough. Brilliant racecraft between these two, so respectful.
Yeah, Malarin carried so much more speed through that corner, the cut across.
He certainly did. As we see there, Chris White still on the back of Maxwell, but not quite close enough to make a move. As we see Pepper now on the back of Costa. Costa will be checking his mirrors, going this way, going that way. Will he defend into the hairpin? Looks like Steve Pepper's going to the inside. And that's a lot of speed taken through that corner by Steve. Costa with the up and under. Costa got the cutback and I think has kept that place from Pepper. Having said that, Pepper then gets past. So Greening now still just 0.2 of a second behind Malarin. As we see, that's a spin from Maxwell. It's got a little bit too wide and onto the grass, into the gravel, and that's into the wall. And that's promoted White up to 4th place. And also promoted up to 5th place is Ben Chalcroft. So unfortunate, because he was leading this race for the first few laps. He had quite a good lead, but then there's a huge lock up by Malarin, and he makes contact with Greening. That puts Kelly up to 1st momentarily, but Malarin straight back ahead.
Yeah,
that was a little bit messy.
Teammates came into contact with each other as well.
I think they did. That's given Malarin a bit of a lead now from Kelly, who goes up the inside of Greening. Greening just about managing to stick around the outside. Will he have the inside line into Spoon curve? Yes, he does, and that gives him the place back. Greening now just 1.2 seconds back from Malarin with 3 laps to go as they cross the line. He's running out of time, but he's shown that he's got the pace. As we see Messenger now trying to get past Piusi for 7th place. That's not a place where you normally see overtaking, but Messenger makes it work. Messenger now up to 7th. That was brilliant. And we saw the caution flag waving momentarily, but we don't usually have safety cars and caution periods in the road courses, so there might have been a slight graphical error. As we see, there is Chris White in the replay. Just getting onto the grass. Tried to keep it straight, but didn't, unfortunately, keep it out of the wall. So yeah, these top 3 now broken away 6 seconds ahead of Chalcroft, who's up to 4th. So what's happened to Piusi? That's what's happened to Piusi. Little bit of contact with Russell Bright as Piusi rejoins, and here's a replay of what happened to begin with. I think, just locked the brakes way too deep into the Spoon hairpin. So, 3 to go. That'll be 2 to go as the leaders just cross the line. And there we have it. Greening with the fastest lap of the race, nearly 7/10 faster than Malarin at that lap. So, 2 to go. Malarin feels like he needs to defend into Spoon corner.
Yeah, Greening there took an off track, and he had so much overspeed on so there he closed in that extra couple of tenths.
Indeed he did, as Greening tries to go around the outside, Malarian heavily defends the inside. No way through. Greening tries the cutback, but not enough road to make it work. And oh, he gets very sideways. Will that open the door to Kelly? Not quite. Greening's now lost a huge chunk of momentum, but manages to keep the position. Kelly all over the back of him, but yeah, didn't manage to find a way through. Kelly does have a look to the inside, down into Sack's curve, but it doesn't make it stick. So, as we see, we've got one more lap to go, I think. No, we don't. That is the checkered flag, not the white flag. There is the checkered flag waving. So yeah, we had Malarian wins. Kelly did just manage to get Greening at the line. So I did see Greening pull right over, so I wonder if he had a slowdown that he needed to serve, perhaps.
I wonder. So post-race black flag for number 30, for Gavin Kelly and Stephen Greening, plus 35 seconds penalty.
So that was both of them getting a penalty.
Big penalty.
Yeah.
So the result for the second race is as follows: Tom Malarian taking the win, Ben Chalcroft second, and Stephen Maxwell in rounding off the podium, which was a big thing for there. Michael Messenger fourth, Philip Miles fifth, Eric Pusey, Chris Forrester, and Steve Pepper eighth. Gavin Kelly and Stephen Green both being relegated to 9th and 10th respectively. Roberto Costa 11th, Johan Manning, Rich Meesters, Don Parker, Kenneth Olive, Pavel Kuzmarek, Chris White in 17th after that incident, Russell Bright, Merrin Hugavin, James Pepper having retired, and Stephen McCann. I don't think Stephen joined that second race.
I don't think he did, no. Right, that was an absolutely thrilling second race, and yeah, hats off to Chalcroft there for leading so well until that unfortunate mistake, but then finding his way back up to second. So that was brilliant. Well done him. So
why don't you take us through
championship standings?
The championship standings at the moment is Tom Malarian with 382 points, way out in front at the moment, followed by Alex Murphy, who didn't attend this evening. Ben Chalcroft, has just gone. Nico Minardi, Chris White, Kenneth Olive, Philip Miles, Gavin Kelly, Sebastian O'Michael, and it's going very quickly, James Pepper, Stephen Maxwell, Pavel Kuzmarek, Chris Forrester, Steve Pepper, Stephen Greening, Roberto Costa, Graham Bardsley, Don Parker, and it's all gone Pete Tong. In the championship standings for the teams, we have Wizards Diamond with 477 points, followed by Anti-Wizard Society, Minardi Atlantic, Minardi Europe, X-Rick Racing, McLaren, Wizards Amethyst, DSR, my apologies, Minardi Simsport, Wizard Ruby, TBC, HKS Motorsport, Shelf Squirrel, and MMPR bring up the rear with 1 point.
Lovely, thanks for that, Steve. So yeah, certainly Malarian and the Wizards Diamond team both with a commanding lead in the championship now.
Yeah, it has been. It's been a good set of results for the Wizards Diamond. It's pulled them out 162 points now, so a very commanding lead.
Indeed. So next time we have Lime Rock. So yeah, that'll be an interesting race. It's quite a short racetrack. So yeah, if we see as many cars as we did. Yeah, if we see as many cars as we did this time, that'll be very interesting. So yeah, watch out for that one. There are the links to our Discord and YouTube and Facebook pages. They're all in the description. So yeah, if you fancy joining us, we race every Sundays. Come join us in the Discord. Come say hello. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Thank you, Steve, for joining me in the commentary booth.
It's been an absolute pleasure, Mark. Thank you very much. Look forward to next time.
Of course, thank you. And of course, thank you to Stephen, who does our videos.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you very much, and goodbye.
Take care. Bye.